You are listening to the Fantasy Football Friends Forever podcast. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button, and make sure to turn on the notifications. Welcome back, everybody, to Fantasy Football Friends Forever. Mad Max here, alongside Pistol Pete. We've got another episode for you. NFC West. First things first, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, turn on the notifications, help support the channel. First things, we'll dive into the 49ers. No offseason coaching changes to speak of. They lost a big piece. Joe Staley to retirement, got injured. Manny Sanders, Matt Breida.
It's a lot.
Key losses.
No,
honestly.
I feel like Joe Staley's been there for like 20 years.
Yeah, the guy was a stud. Manny Sanders, another nice piece, and then Breida. I mean, three very good players. They were active in the. They re-signed Eric Armstead, re-signed Jimmy Ward, re-signed Ronald Blair. All those players were above average players graded by Pro Football Focus, at least 77.5 or higher. So defense is looking nice. They signed Ben Garland to center, kind of bolstered the offensive line. And then they got Travis Benjamin at wide receiver. I mean,
yeah, whatever.
I think Travis Benjamin's kind of washed, so probably not that big of news there. I think mainly the Joe Staley being lost is a big thing, I think.
Yeah.
As far as the running backs and San Fran.
That guy was a mauler.
But the loss of Breida opens up some opportunity.
I love me some Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, you got Mostert and Tevin Coleman. So
yeah.
I think that's a boost for them, but I mean the offensive line downgraded. They had a couple key picks in the draft. Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle out of South Carolina, first pick, 14th pick, graded out at 89.3 by Pro Football Focus. I mean, the guy's just big and long.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Physical.
Yeah, that was a good pick. Because they lost a key defensive lineman, too, to the Colts. You know what I'm talking about? Like Buckner or something.
They did lose Buckner.
Yeah. Buckner's good.
Yeah.
I mean, they got like a first rounder for him.
Yeah, so they replaced him. D-line's looking nice.
Solid.
He's good off the snap. He's just violent, man. It's a good pick. I mean, They just bolstered that defense again. And then Brandon Ayuk, Arizona State. That's my boy, in case you didn't know.
Man, you got a lot of boys in this draft.
I mean, no, he's just like a guy that I was like, leading up to the draft, I was watching like some play, like wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, just getting prepped for fantasy football season. And he was a guy that like kind of popped on tape for me where I was just like, that's a good player. And most of the experts had him like 8th, 9th on their boards. So he wasn't really being highly touted, but I liked what I saw. Pro Football Focus, I wouldn't say did that much. He was graded out of 77.8. To me, he's just like a big play threat. He's explosive, good route runner. He's a strong runner. He's tough to take down. He's just a quick guy, man.
They need help, like a receiver.
Yeah.
And there's another guy, though, I love on there. Like, I love me some Deebo Samuel, too.
Yeah, Deebo Samuel for sure.
Deebo's nice.
The one thing about Ayuk as far as a prospect is he doesn't have like a big catch radius. He's got a lot of that. He's got a little Deebo Samuel in him.
Runs hard violently.
He's not as violent as Deebo Samuel. I think he's a better route runner than Deebo Samuel. Just a better natural receiver, but he's just not that guy that's going to, like, you can just throw the ball up to him. He's going to go make a play. So that's the one downfall, I would say. But I think Kyle Shanahan's a little better at, like, scheming.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so he's going to get him open.
Oh, yeah, he will.
So as far as fantasy goes, like, you got Jimmy G, you got Mostert, you got Coleman. We'll start there. I mean, you're looking at, like, 7th, 8th, 9th round. You're going to have to draft those guys.
I don't want any Jimmy G.
No Jimmy G. I'm on board with that. Just no ceiling. They're a run-heavy team, so yeah. Don't like Jimmy G. What about Mostert or Coleman? Coleman's going before Mostert.
I like Mostert. Actually.
You'd rather have Mostert 9th round instead of Coleman in the 7th?
Oh yeah, I think he's more durable, and I think Mostert just runs hard and he's fast.
I think it's a really good pick.
Like he's a solid player. Every time the guy gets over 20 carries, like he produces. I still remember what he did to the Packers in the NFC title game, like 200 yards. Like
Do you think that'll flip? Coleman's going first right now. Do you think it'll flip? Like Mostert ends up going first?
I hope it doesn't.
That would be, yeah. And I just think that's really good. Because normally, or McKinnon. They still have McKinnon.
Gosh, I can't. He hasn't played in years.
Bye-bye Breida, and I think they're just going to insert McKinnon. It could still be a headache, honestly. But Mostert came onto the scene when inevitably both those running backs get hurt. Mostert.
Yeah.
He'll be on most start.
Yeah. I like him in the 9th, honestly.
And then you've got, so for receiving options, you've got Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
I just never take a tight end early. That's just my fantasy thing.
I got him, he's going at the 2.8.
I'm not doing it.
I can't take Kittle in the second round.
I can't. Just a personal thing.
Do you like Deebo Samuel in the 4th round? Or would you rather get Brandon Ayuk later?
I love Deebo Samuel, honestly, this year.
In the 4th round, you like him?
I don't know if I love him that much, but
4.1. He's going the first pick in the 4th round.
I like him better in, the 6th.
I don't think you're going to get him in the 6th, brother.
That's the thing. I don't know.
Tough.
I have to see. That is tough because I think Deebo Samuel is going to have a big year. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to get him the ball.
That's pretty much like them saying Deebo Samuel wide receiver 2.
I think he has wide receiver 2 upside.
But you'll be drafting him at his upside. That's what I don't like. Like you said, I would rather be getting Deebo Samuel in that 5th, 6th round. 4th round, I feel like it's a little pricey. But I would still want to get a piece of that offense. I think I like Ayuk. He's going a flyer range.
Oh, yeah.
As a flyer?
Oh, yeah.
With
as
no
a flyer,
Sanders?
it's great. He's going to have opportunity.
I like Ayuk.
There's nobody there. Marquise Goodwin's gone, too.
Ayuk's a sleeper to me.
Solid.
Next team I want to talk about. Arizona Cardinals. No notable coaching changes. They lost Demir Byrd, Pharaoh Cooper, 2 wide receiver options. And then they re-signed Kenyon Drake, re-signed Larry Fitzgerald. They brought in Marcus Gilbert. Big signing in my opinion. Tackle out of the Steelers organization. He was on IR all last year. But leading up to that, he's had at least a 70+ grade by Pro Football Focus.
That's good.
So he's a solid tackle.
Cardinals line just been atrocious.
Trash. And they addressed it this offseason. And then DeAndre Hopkins is now an Arizona Cardinal.
Just hose the Texans and Bill O'Brien. I don't.
Great addition.
I love that.
Great addition for that
DeAndre
offense.
Hopkins, and I love Kyler Murray.
So we'll talk about the fantasy implications here in a second because they did have a couple big draft picks. First round, Isaiah Simmons slipped to him. 88.5 by Pro Football Focus. The guy's a stud.
The guy's a monster. He's a local kid, too.
Yeah, Olathe.
I could argue he's the best defensive player in the draft. Besides Chase Young,
What about Okuda?
I like Isaiah Simmons.
You'd rather have Isaiah Simmons?
Shutdown corner is important.
Yeah.
I get that. They're close. I wouldn't... If Detroit took Isaiah Simmons, I'd have no problem with it.
I would probably still take Okuda.
I'd probably take him in Detroit's position, but the Panthers at 7, I'm not taking that D tackle. I'm taking Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Simmons is nasty, man. The guy... Gonna play out of the slot. He's gonna play slot corner. He's gonna play that, for people that are Chiefs fans, the Tyrann Mathieu role, where he's gonna be moving all over the field, but he's a bigger, stronger, faster Tyrann Mathieu. He's a beast out of the slot. That's where he played most of his snaps. Next pick, 3rd round, Josh Jones slipped to the 3rd round. Pro Football Focus had him graded out at 93.4. The guy was supposed to be he was getting 1st round hype everywhere. Supposed to be a 1st round pick. Slipped to the 3rd. He's out of Utah. He's got prototypical size. He's a natural athlete. Good with his hands. The one bad knock on him is his footwork isn't good. But
coach him up.
Overall, you add Marcus Gilbert, you add Josh Jones to the tackle positions. You've shored up both sides of your offensive line.
Yeah, they needed that too. Their line, like we said, has been terrible. And honestly, Kyler Murray, he helps the line. The guy can evade sacks and pressure. We can get to the fantasy implications because I love the team.
Yeah, so you've got Kyler Murray. We'll go, okay, Kyler Murray, 5th round, 5.1. That's where he's going. 5th round, late 5th round. Are you taking him late 5th round, or are you still waiting?
I'd think about it.
He's got that upside where late 5th round pick. Like maybe if I can get him in the 6th or 7th.
If I had DeAndre Hopkins on my team, I'd do that combo.
Are you taking? So okay, we'll skip to receivers. DeAndre Hopkins is going at the 1.6, so mid first round. You like him there?
I don't see. I hate taking a receiver in the first round, but this year, like Michael Thomas, I'll take. I do think DeAndre Hopkins is gonna have a big year. I
think he could. My worry is like when you're using a first round pick, I kind of want someone that's been in that offense already. You know what I mean? Like he's just getting it added to the offense. So that just worries me personally. Like it's like a layer of risk on the player. Hopkins is a stud, and they're gonna air it out. I think so.
Cliff Kingsbury loves airing it out, and I just think he's so much better than any receiver on that offense.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. Like it might be worth the risk. High risk, high reward, though. I think like if me personally, if I take Hopkins first round, like I'm taking Kyler Murray in the 5th, maybe in a lot of drafts, because if you double up on that. I think it's solid. I think it would offer you a lot of ceiling for sure. Mm-hmm. So other guys, Kenyon Drake, mid 5th round pick is where he's being mocked right now. You like him mid 5th round?
This one's so tough for me because I love the guy's talent. Like
I think he's super talented, man.
Yeah, he's just Miami just never wanted to use him. Like
dude, he blew up at the end of the year last year.
He did.
I think mid 5th round pick to me is just a home run.
It's solid. It's not high. Like, it's not overly drafted.
That's RB3. Like, that's a flex play / adding RB depth. Or if you went 0 RB and you get Kenyon Drake in the 5th round.
Yeah, guy was like...
I don't hate Kenyon Drake in the 5th round.
Guy was playing RB1.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's great value, in my opinion. I love Kenyon Drake in the 5th. Christian Kirk in the 6th.
I don't want any Christian Kirk. I'm done with him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done. He disappoints every year. Every year. I've heard it since he got drafted.
Well, he was just drafted 2 years ago. 2nd year last year. So he's in that 3rd year breakout. He's not going to break out.
I just don't think he is. Like, DeAndre Hopkins, Larry Fitzgerald is not good for Christian Kirk.
I think with Hopkins coming in, Fitz is re-signed. Kirk in the 6th feels overdrafted. Kirk in like 8th, 9th round, I can buy in on. Kirk in the 6th. That's saying he's your flex play, and he's not even. He's the second option. Not even the second option. Third, fourth option in that offense. What about Chase Edmonds? He's going flyer range, like 12, 13.
He played well when he got a chance. I'll give him that. But
they gave him a lot of opportunities.
They did. He just got hurt, too.
I like him.
I like him as a talent, but, I mean, if Kenyon Drake stays healthy...
I think like as the a 12th, 13th round pick.
He's a handcuff.
I don't really like handcuffing though, personally.
I don't either, but Kenyon Drake's got a big injury history. I will be shocked if he doesn't miss 2 games minimum.
The thing is with it's almost not even a handcuff, man. Like
you're just kind of waiting.
You could maybe draft both and both end up being productive for you, where you're plugging in Chase Edmonds in your flex. On given weeks, if he's playing well, like if he gets like a James White role in that offense where they're utilizing him on quite a bit of snaps and quite a bit of passing situations, like he can be a guy that gets you 5-6 catches a week in a PPR league. I could see him being someone you draft. He's on your bench, kind of bye week fill-in kind of guy.
Yeah, I could see that. Kingsbury loves throwing to the backs.
Yeah. Outside of you got Fitz and Isabella.
Your boy.
I like Isabella.
Your boy. Do you? He likes Isabella?
Not this year. I do. I like Isabella's talent. Oh, okay. I think Isabella is a playmaker, but I just with Fitz there. I think once Fitz retires,
is he ever going to retire?
Doesn't look like it. I do like Isabella, man. That guy's a beast.
I just don't like anyone outside of Hopkins, Murray,
as far as fantasy,
and Drake. Like I like those 3.
I think all 3 of those guys offer some potential real value.
They do. I think they're gonna. I think that offense is gonna score a lot of points.
Yeah, I agree. On to the next team, We've got the LA Rams due up. A lot of changes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
All right. First thing, they changed their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator. I don't know how much the offensive coordinator change really matters. He was the old Browns quarterback coach from 2015. I don't know. He was on the offensive staff for the Niners in 2016. And then he was on the Redskins from 2017 to 2019. He went from quarterback coach to offensive coordinator there. I don't actually see Sean McVay relinquishing control of that offense. So I just don't really think it's that big of a deal.
That's Sean McVay's baby.
The big change I saw is their defensive coordinator. They have Brandon Staley. He's part of the Fangio tree. So he was with Fangio as the linebackers coach of the Bears in 2017. He then moved with Fangio to be the linebackers coach for the Broncos in 2019. Being on the Rams now, like I really like that signing as far as a D coordinator. Like if you think about those linebackers on the Bears, like the 3-4 scheme with the linebacking Bears, like that was a good defense.
No,
and then the Broncos linebacking core, like I just being part of the Fangio tree, I kind of like it.
It's good. I mean, it's just a new voice. Like Wade Phillips, an older guy. Like I still think Wade Phillips did a good job.
Yeah,
like players like playing for Wade, but that defense it took a step back though. Like it wasn't the same.
They addressed the defense though.
Well, that's good.
I mean, they lost Corey Littleton, Dante Fowler.
They played well. Those two guys.
Maybe, oh man. Okay, so Nickel, Roby Coleman, cornerback. All three of those guys were very solid players.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, obviously they lost Gurley, Brandon Cooks, and then Greg the Leg.
That's a big
loss.
That's
a good kicker.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so then guys they signed kind of to fill voids. Andrew Whitworth. Or no, yeah, they re-signed Andrew Whitworth.
God,
sorry.
How old is that guy?
He's like 36 or something. Leonard Floyd, edge player, came from the Bears.
Yeah.
So kind of like a scheme fit with the new D coordinator.
He honestly reminds me of Dante Fowler. Both were like first-round busts.
Yeah.
You know, from where they came. Because Dante Fowler didn't do much in Jacksonville. And Leonard Floyd didn't do anything in Chicago, really. Maybe they'll get the best out of him. You never know. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
So good addition there. And then Michael Brockers, they re-signed. Solid player. So really they lost a good linebacker, good corner. And then as far as the draft goes, they addressed linebacker. They did not really address corner, which is kind of concerning in my opinion. But we'll start with the second-round pick. Cam Akers, second round, 20th pick, running back, Florida State, 5'10", 217. What are your thoughts?
That's my boy.
Dude,
that's my boy.
He's good.
Mark this down. That is my boy. I think he could be the best running back, like rookie out of this class.
He's a stud.
Because I think they're going to give him the rock. If they believed in Darrell Henderson, they're not taking Cam Akers in the second.
Cam Akers has got the prototypical 3-down back size and skill set.
The guy was the number one ranked high school running back coming out in his class.
Man.
Like Jimbo Fisher left Florida State. Florida State isn't. That line is bad. Like he earned some yards too. I love Cam Akers this year.
79.2 rating by Pro Football Focus. Tough runner. Tough to take down. Explosive is what I got. Like the guy's just a stud.
I'm getting me some Cam Akers.
Yeah, and we'll get there. Second round pick, 5 picks later, Van Jefferson, wide receiver out of Florida, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Don't know much about him, honestly.
Let me fill you in here. Lacks physicality, okay speed, okay route running, okay ball skills were my notes on him. Rated a 71 by Pro Football Focus. Just average, man. Like, he's an average receiver that they took in the second round. I thought it was a terrible pick.
Seems like a panic move, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't like it personally. Third round, they went Terrell Lewis, outside linebacker out of Bama. I think this is going to be the project for this new D coordinator. Man, he's going to fit that scheme. I promise you that. 6'5", 262. He's a true 3-4 linebacker. Good physical tools. He's coming off an ACL injury.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that guy.
And so he's got room to improve, but, man, he looks the part.
I like guys from Bama, too. I mean, Saban coaches them up there, so.
I really like that draft pick. And then 20 picks later, in the third round, 40th pick, Terrell Burgess, safety out of Utah. Love this kid.
Man, that Utah defense.
I'm telling you, Terrell Burgess, safety out of Utah, 5'11", 202. He was rated the best man-to-man coverage safety in the whole class. Got a score of 85.3 overall. Versatile safety, good open field tackler. He dropped because he's undersized. Dude reminds me of Tyrann Mathieu, man. The guy just makes tackles, makes plays all over the field, locks down like wide receivers.
Yeah, I mean, if you can... The only thing about that undersized thing is if you can stay healthy. Like, I don't know if he's injury prone or not, but I don't mind it. I don't mind my safety being undersized. Like, the guy's around the ball, makes plays, whatever, have at it.
I agree. I think he's a really good player. I thought it was a good pick by the Rams there. Decent offseason, nothing. I don't think like the needle moved too much. The offensive line's trash. I think that's the problem.
I think that's a bad sign for Goff.
Yeah.
Like, we've already talked about him. Like,
so yeah, we'll jump into the fantasy implications of all of this. Like Jared Goff, 10th round. Are you even touching him?
No,
Jared Goff. I agree, 100%. Off Jared Goff, offensive line's terrible. I just you bring in Cam Akers. His ADP right now is in the 7th round.
Smash
in 7th round. I agree with that.
I'll take him in the 6th. I will overdraft him around.
Do you think he would go in the 5th? Like, he could move up the board.
Maybe. Almost. Like, that's part of me is hoping, like, with this Corona stuff, like, preseason games don't happen. Because I don't want Cam Akers to flash.
Well, that is the good thing about, like, people that prepare for fantasy football. Like, this could be a good thing because once people start flashing in preseason, that's when people start getting on the hype train. And it's if there's no preseason, the people that put in the work in the offseason are going to be the ones that reap the rewards.
Yeah, and people can just, like... And those people can easily pick up Darrell Henderson, like Malcolm Brown. Like, no, I don't want those guys.
Have them.
No. Like, yeah, you can have them.
No, I like Cam Akers a lot. My only concern is the offensive line play.
Yeah, the line's not good. I just believe in the guy's talent. Like, I don't know. I think he's going to get the rock there.
I think you're right. Wide receiver wise, you got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. You lost Brandon Cooks, so Josh Reynolds. I mean, Kupp in the 3rd round. Do you love that? I love it.
I mean, Goff just looks for him all the time.
The guy was wide receiver 1 half the year last year.
He runs great routes and
3rd round. I love it, dude. Like,
I'm not taking him in the 2nd though. Like, I won't take him.
No, I wouldn't take him in the 2nd. I think 3rd round. He's early 3rd round. I definitely like him in early 3rd round. And then I also like Robert Woods in the 5th round.
Yeah, he slipped last year. Like, his production, it wasn't great like what people thought it would be.
He came on at the end of the year, though.
He did. Well, yeah, no Brandon Cooks now. Like, he's getting some targets.
I'm probably not getting any Reynolds. He might, he's probably going to be a guy in free agency anyways. So if one of them gets hurt, then go get Reynolds. But what about Tyler Higbee?
I like him and Everett. Like,
you like both?
Both those guys are talented, but yeah, Higbee was crushing there at the end.
Dude, he was winning a lot of DFS money.
He was. Everett had some good games too, though. Like, yeah, if I had to pick one, I'd take Higbee.
Yeah,
but
I've liked Higbee for a couple years now. He reminds me of Travis Kelce.
Goff likes the guy.
He's a talented receiving tight end. On to the final team, Seattle Seahawks. No notable coaching changes on the Seahawks. They lost Josh Gordon, Jerron Brown, talking wide receivers. Edge defenders, they lost Ansah and Clowney. And then they lost Quentin Jefferson. They added some very average players. I won't even waste your time on those. And then on the offensive side of the ball, Philip Dorsett they brought in. And then Greg Olsen. The man will not retire.
He won't. I personally think that Jadeveon Clowney is going to be a big loss. Like, their D-line isn't good. They don't get to the quarterback, and I know he wanted a lot of money, but it's coming down. Just offer the guy like $15 million a year. Like, you don't have to pay him 20.
Yeah, I don't know about this defense. They lost some good pieces, man. They got Jordan Brooks with their 27th pick in the NFL draft, linebacker out of Texas Tech, 6 foot, 240, hard hitter, man. Guy's powerful, runs a 4.5 140 downhill. Guy just lights
He's got
people
some
up.
wheels.
Good tackler. I'm very good pick, I think. At 90.5 grade by Pro Football Focus. I think it's a really good pick. The guy's a stud. In the second round, at the 216, Darrell Taylor, D end out of Tennessee, 6'4", 267. He's got the build. Like, got graded out an 80.4. Big body. He's not athletic though. Like, he's built like athletically, like he's huge, but he's just like not explosive, and that's my real concern. I'm not a huge fan of that. I'd rather have a guy that's got like the explosiveness and the physicality and can just burn people and like good with his hands, and he's just not an elite D end by any means. I think they took another step back. Like, this Seattle defense just keeps regressing, man, from those Legion of Boom days.
Oh, it's so long ago now.
Yeah. And then in the third round, they took a guard, Damian Lewis, 6'3", 332. Big boy. That's what I wrote down in bold cap. This guy's a big boy, man. Like, good run blocker, not a good pass protector. Like, his footwork's just bad. His hand placement's bad. Like, I mean, he's a project.
That's another thing with Seattle. They just don't care about the line. Like, they don't pay the offense. They're just like, oh, Russell Wilson he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, he usually does, though.
I'm concerned. Like, I'm somewhat concerned, but you got Russell Wilson.
Yeah, you have Russell Wilson, so, like...
We'll see. I mean, so fantasy-wise, what this means to you guys, Russell Wilson, 5th round.
Yeah, I like Russ. I'm
not like a guy... Like, I just personally don't like taking guys, like quarterbacks, before the 10th round.
Yeah,
personally.
Just depends for me. I don't know.
Well, you're in, like... Okay, so we're in a 6 points per passing touchdown league. So you like quarterbacks in that league. I can get on board with it. I think it hurts people like Russell Wilson. It hurts people like Kyler Murray because your rushing upside is not as valuable because passing quarterbacks that are throwing a lot of touchdowns, which Russell Wilson actually does throw a lot of touchdowns. He's very efficient. So maybe not Russell Wilson's best example, but Kyler Murray, for example, with the rushing upside, it's just capped when throwing touchdowns is valuable.
It's capped, but that was my other point because I always went Watson Hopkins. I will take Murray Hopkins, like in one of my leagues. I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
Especially because I love that double dip when it's 6 points per passing. You're getting 12.
It's risky, though, on a week-to-week basis. That's my thing. I like double dipping when you're playing like DFS and you're trying to like maximize your output potential. But in a week-to-week format, like I personally...
Hopkins? You think it's that risky?
Well, by risk, I don't mean like it's risky, like each player's risky. But once you stack them, like you're now increasing, like you're adding a layer of risk in the fact that like if one player doesn't do good, like he affects the other player. You know what I mean? So like if the Cardinals struggle and only score 14 points, you're probably losing that fantasy matchup.
Probably, but I just don't see that happening that often.
Like it's going to happen off. Like you're going to lose games because of it, though, and that's my problem with it. Like from a week to week fantasy production, like I don't want players on the same teams. I try to spread my teams out.
I don't do
it. A little fantasy insight from my point of view.
I don't do it that often, but with certain guys like even like Mahomes, Kelsey, you're not stacking that. I've seen people do that.
It's risky.
It's not.
I mean, Mahomes Kelsey isn't as risky because you've got the best quarterback and the best tight end. So that is less risky than stacking other positions, I would say.
I just think I don't know what they average. Like, you're getting 30 points minimum probably, like every game with Murray and Hopkins together.
I'm just saying to win a championship, it takes 1 week. One week where they dud and you lost because those are your two of your top point producers.
Well, hopefully it's not in the playoffs. Hopefully it's like week 6 they done.
Fair enough. I've also seen people win championships because of it.
Yeah,
it's a risk reward kind of thing. Chris Carson, 3rd round.
It's your boy.
My boy. I like him.
You love Chris Carson.
Okay, so he was undrafted, and I was watching him in preseason his rookie year play the Chiefs, and the guy was he looked so I was like, this is the best back on the team. And he eventually takes the job. So that's why he's my boy.
Not your boy in the third?
He might be. Like, he's a good player.
He's a good player.
Injury prone. He's a violent runner. That's like my thing at this point is he's been beaten up over the course of seasons now. It's like you're coming in, a workhorse role again. I just see him breaking down.
Well, the good thing is Rashard Penny broke down last year too. So
they didn't really add anybody, so
I just think it's his role to have until he breaks down. But yeah, I see.
I think there's other players in the third round that aren't as risky as Carson.
I agree with that. I'm not taking him in the third.
It would have to be like late third. He would have to slip to me. Wide receiver, I think this is interesting. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. So you got Lockett going late third, Metcalf going mid to late fourth.
Oh, God, I took Tyler Lockett so much later in that last year.
Like, where'd you get him last year? Like 5th, 6th round?
I think so. I think it might.
That was good value.
I love DK Metcalf.
I think DK Metcalf's the call this year.
I love DK Metcalf. I think he's going to be.
I would rather wait on Metcalf.
I would too. I agree with that.
You're looking at, like, you might have to take Metcalf in the 4th, but you might get him in the 5th.
I'm smashing that.
If he drops to the 5th, I'm smashing it, and I'm considering it late 4th round.
I am too. I love DK Metcalf. I think Russell Wilson.
Lockett in the 3rd. No, I'm not taking Lockett in the 3rd. I'll let someone else take Lockett in the 3rd.
I agree with that.
What about Greg Olsen?
No.
13th round.
Oh, maybe.
Dude,
I just think he's on his last leg.
I think he's a sleeper, literally on his left. Like, the guy just broke that foot so many times, dude.
Oh, my God.
I kind of like him in the 13th round. Wilson uses his tight end.
He does. I mean, he made Will Dissly look like a star for a few games.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, 13th round, Greg Olsen, that's like 0 draft capital.
Yeah, no.
Like, if you go 0 tight end and snag Greg Olsen, I'm telling you, he might make you look smart.
Yeah, could be a lot worse.
And then he gets hurt, and then you got to go stream. But I don't even hate streaming tight end. I've talked that on previous shows. That's going to wrap up this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to Fantasy Football Friends Forever. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel and help support. We appreciate you listening. Tune in next week for our next 2 divisions. Thank you.